Hi, I'm Roseanne and welcome to my garden. Today it's a beautiful spring day in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's USDA Zone 4 or 4B to be precise. And I'm going to be dividing my Siberian Iris. Siberian Iris are just a beautiful flower. They are very delicate, but even when they're done flowering, I really appreciate the tall grass-like leaves because they contrast so nicely with some of the other perennials in the bed. They also just, the way they move in the wind is also quite beautiful. Again, very grass-like. So let's get close up. Here I have 3 Siberian Iris plants. One that we're going to divide today is this one. It's starting to get what I'll call a donut hole in the middle, which means the plant is old. It's been about maybe 4 years since I've divided it, and it's time to do it again. Most perennials need dividing at some time. Siberian Iris, I would say every 3 to 5 years. At any rate, you can tell when the inside starts getting bare and the plant is gravitating toward the edges. So what I'm going to do when I divide this is I'm going to cut this in 4 pieces, and I'm going to replant the healthiest outside piece, 1/4 of it, back in this spot, and I'm going to pot up the other plants. There's another iris here, and this I divided yesterday. This is what I want this to look like when I'm done. All of the plants are nice and healthy in there from the outside of the plant. This Siberian Iris, I'm not going to touch this year. I want this plant to really bloom robustly this year. I also don't see really any dead spots. I see some stragglers over here, but this plant really doesn't look like it needs dividing, so maybe I'll look at it again next year. I'm going to start by digging very closely to the edge of the plant. And move it. Done. The fibrous roots of the Siberian Iris are extremely tough. In fact, I would say this is the toughest perennial I have that I need to divide. And so I'm going to use other tools. My normal dividing tools won't work on Siberian Iris, or at least for me, I'm not strong enough. So there's a couple of options. One is a saw, a hand saw. Again, I would start here and just start sawing it. Again, even this takes a lot of strength, but it will work. I have used this in the past. What I'm going to use is a power tool. And this is a reciprocating saw, also called a sawzall, and it's one of my gardening best friends. I also use this for pruning. It gives nice sharp cuts, and it's a nice short blade so you can get pretty precise. Anyway, this isn't about pruning, this is about dividing Siberian Iris. So I'm going to start this, and we're going to do a close-up in the middle. And then I'm going to, again, saw it into 4 pieces, 4 quarters, and save one. Please be very careful when using a saw, and certainly read the instructions before starting. But I'm going to start in the middle. Make another cut. That was a lot easier than using a real saw. So let's break this apart. And you can see how tough the root is here. This, again, is why I use a Sawzall. It's very hard. So I'm going to save the best piece and replant it. And I'm looking at them. And here's two more that need to come apart. And I think this is the piece I'm going to put back in the ground. I'm also going to just, while I have it here, I'm going to save one piece for elsewhere in the garden, and I'm going to pot up the others to give away. I'm also going to use the Sawzall to put these in smaller pieces. I'm now ready to plant up the iris. I have, just to recap, I've got 1, 2, 3, and I like the size of a plant like this. It's got lots of roots showing, and it's not too big. This will not flower this year. It'll flower next year. I'll put it in a 1-gallon pot and again give it away. This large piece that I saved for myself will flower this year. I'm almost certain of it. But again, my insurance policy is the Siberian Iris that I haven't touched. So I'm not going to fertilize it now. I'm just going to fill the hole, and I'll say I like using sifted soil. When dividing perennials, I always have a wheelbarrow on hand, and also, as I said, sifted soil. I use a normal screen like this to do so. I think it's worth it. It makes the soil much nicer to work with. So now I'm just going to fill the hole. I'll make the hole a little more welcoming for the Siberian Iris. And I want to place it so it's about the same distance from the other two. Right about there. It's a little high. That's just about perfect. Look how lovely this soil is. I really don't want the soil in the crown of the plant. Some got in there, but I just wipe it out. And then I'll push the soil up around it. There. That's it for this Siberian Iris, and I'll revisit the next one next year. Meanwhile, I'm going to pot all these up in 1-gallon pots. I like working with this size. I always save these if I buy plants from a nursery. So I'll just put this in here, hold it level, and fill it with soil. Holding the plant, I just fill all around it. I never put soil in the pot beforehand because I'd like the roots to be able to hang freely. And when I fill the pot with soil, the soil just fills in around the roots. and everyone's happy. Great. Now the next thing I need to do is water this, finish planting all the other extra Siberian Iris, and give the Siberian Iris I planted a good thorough drink. We're done with the iris, off to other perennials. Thanks for watching.